Hello again. Today we're going to discuss the big, beautiful bag of bile and bullshit that just passed the Senate. It still has to go to the House, so it's not a done deal yet, but we already know the House is going to pass it. But by the time they pass it, what I would really like to know is what revisions end up having they have in it because it was revised to pass the Senate, and the House bill was much worse. And it's I know that's hard to believe, but I'm reading through this thing, and it's big. It's there's a lot of stuff in it. There's a lot of bad stuff in it, and it's really hard to get through a lot of this. I mean, they say it would take like the I guess average reader 16 hours, and I know that most of the Republicans in Congress are less than average readers. They don't read any of these things. Anyway, welcome to Marxism. Um, if you've been here before, welcome back. If you've never been here before, welcome. Please like and subscribe, and do not press the notification button because notifications are annoying. Anyway, there's so much to wrap my mind around that I think we should just look at cute little cat photos. Maybe that's what we should do. Ah, that's much better. God, I'm a little more relaxed now. That's Pepper. That's my cat. Isn't he adorable? I know. I had some MAGA idiot. He saw that I had a cat on Facebook. I'll tell you why I have a cat too, because he adopted me. I had a dog, but I had to put him down about a year ago, unfortunately, after having him for 12 years. He was 14 years old. He was my best friend. That guy was just he was an incredible dog, little Jack Russell Terrier. God, he was just amazing. Alexander Hamilton was his name. Anyway, but this cat adopted me shortly after my dog had passed, and he was scraggly. He was born in the neighborhood. He was kind of scraggly, and so after relenting for quite a while, I eventually took him in and to the vet and got him, fixed and got him all his shots and all that stuff. And now he's just this big, beautiful cat. I mean, a lot of cat hair though. But anyway, and he's really cool. He's really a sweetheart. And but anyway, so back to I digress once again. Yeah, but that was nice to look at a cat instead of this enormous bile bag of bullshit that's going on here. Okay. Anyway, so we're back. All right, back to reality. All right, let's see. Yeah, there's some interesting stuff in here. A lot of repealing of environmental stuff. Let's take a look here. Here's the big beautiful bag of bile and bullshit right now. So this thing repeals all these things, repeal and rescission relating to clean, heavy duty vehicles, grants to reduce air pollution, relating to greenhouse reduction fund, diesel emissions reduction, relating to funding to address air pollution, related to funding to address air pollution at schools. So they don't care about the air. They don't care about your kids. They don't care about shit. They care about the rich getting richer. And that's what this is all about. If you go down a little further, there's stuff on um, getting rid of funding for a lot of funding for the National Park Service, BLM, not Black Lives Matter, but Bureau of Land Management, and the Forestry Service. I might have said that already. National parks, um, but they spend $175 billion on immigration related stuff, ICE and building the border wall and throwing illegals who are taxpayers, by the way. So we're going to lose all this tax revenue while giving tax breaks to the wealthy. And he thinks that somehow this is going to repealing some of these things is going to somehow help the debt. It's not. This is going to create over $3 trillion worth of debt. So that's $3 trillion more to the debt on top of what he's already doing. So Yeah, it's he's they're not saving us any money. Here's the interesting thing is that Bernie Sanders' proposal to fund college education for everyone in America would only cost um, $90 billion. And but instead we're gonna throw out taxpayers, spend all this money to throw out taxpayers that are working hard that we just don't want because they're not American. They're brown because they're brown. It's racism is what it is. Uh, um, Republicans have been hiring these people to mow their lawns and be their nannies and work at their construction companies to pay lower wages, to drive the wages down, and to hurt Americans. They've been doing this for decades, and now they're going to do. Trump is doing more to hurt Americans. He's hurting farmers. He promised them subsidies. They can't find people to work because Americans won't do it. They last about 2 hours and then they quit. So now they don't have workers to pick the grapes or pick the lettuce. So now we're going to have food shortages as a result. So there's nothing really good about this. He's not going after criminals. Sure, there's criminals being deported too, which is, I mean, I'm kind of fine with that if they are criminals, but they're not really doing that. They're just rounding up anybody that's illegal and calling them a criminal. Um, this is a big tax break. If you're upper middle class and wealthy, you get money back. You get a tax. You get a. They're getting some pretty good tax breaks for the rich in here. If you're lower middle class or poor, guess what? You're going to be paying more in taxes, and you need to go look at the analysis on that because the website for little Trumpy Poo's myths and what's real and what's not that's on his White House page is the biggest myth of all. It's bullshit. And he's also saying that, oh yeah, we're gonna give tax breaks and no taxes to people um, on Social Security. So they're gonna not tax Social Security. Well, if you believe that, I have a bridge for sale for you. In fact, I'd like to sell you a couple of bridges. I've got a couple on the East Coast and I got a couple on the West Coast that you would love. Come take a look at them. It These are proposed in this bill. They're not things that are in this bill. They're things that are proposed in this bill. And what would happen? What they're doing here? They know that retired people and older folks that are going to retire are the biggest. A lot of them are Republicans too, but they're the biggest voting block. You know, they turn out to vote all the time, and they're the guys that will. Those are the guys and gals that will call their senators and congressmen and stuff like that, and urge them to vote for or against something. So they're not worrying about people who are going to the millions of people that are going to lose. I think 16 million are going to lose their health care with the cuts to Medicaid and to Obamacare. Um, they're pulling your leg so that they get these people to call their congressmen and get them to vote because they didn't have the votes. A lot of senators, a lot of Republican senators are against this. Even though they voted for it, they're still talking about how bad it is, but they voted for it anyway. Why? Good question. I mean, is it because they're being threatened by Trump for being threatened to be deported? I mean, who knows? you know, they're denatural. They're trying to. They got new laws now or new executive orders to denaturalize American citizens so they could deport them. Are just natural born citizens? Are we going to be next? I don't know. My family's been in this country generations longer than Trump's family. Trump's family were, around during Nazi Germany, and we're Nazis, as a matter of fact, from what I everything I've read. But anyway, yeah, this is not good. It's There's just so much to this. It's just absolutely incredible. I haven't even had a chance to scratch the surface of this. And I don't know, maybe I won't go too much into it, but just because, we still have the House to pass their version of it again. And gosh, in the House version, they wanted to sell off 250 million acres. And what they want to do is they want to privatize things. They want to privatize the national parks. It won't be long before the national parks will be under some company like um, Halliburton or something like that. I don't think Halliburton exists anymore in its original form, but it's owned by somebody else. But um, so things they want to do, more offshore oil drilling. They opened up public lands to whatchamacallit, to deforestation, to logging. They're rescinding forestry service funds. That's, you see that on the screen here. They are. Let's see. Let's go through some of this. Vessel tonnage duties. Yeah, interesting stuff. Um, termination of deductions for personal exemptions. They're extending some things, child credit stuff, that's good. Um, no tax on tips and no tax on overtime. That's good. Now that I'm not working, um, I might think about working in a restaurant again. At least I can make tips without being taxed on it. Because if I worked as a waiter somewhere, I'd probably rake in the dough. I'm a pretty personable kind of guy, and I usually do well at stuff like that. I worked in grocery stores. I was a construction worker, but I worked in grocery stores and um, as a checker, and the customers always love me. They go through my line. I'm fast. I'm efficient. And super friendly, and I can carry an intelligent conversation with people and stuff like that. So it's really good. Yeah, more clean air stuff. They're doing away with termination of residential clean energy credit. So yeah, forget it. Anything environmental, man, they're just trashing it. It's just disgusting. They just don't care. Um, there's stuff for on food stuff here. I've kind of read a little bit of this, but it doesn't really pertain to me. I don't get any subsidies from the government. I've been having this big argument with this guy who's wealthy on Facebook, and he's telling me, "Oh yeah, you just want free handouts." I'm like, I don't get any handouts. I'm not rich, and I mean, I would probably be considered lower middle class at this point, but I don't get handouts from anybody. Everything I have, I work for. I own a home. I'm retired. I have a pension and stuff like that. I worked hard all my life to have these things. Including Social Security. I've paid into Social Security, I've paid into Medicare, all that stuff. I've paid my taxes. I've never cheated on my taxes. I've been a good citizen, and him saying that is ridiculous because let's face it, the overwhelming majority of the subsidies or socialism that happens in this country, the wealthy get it. It's the wealthy that get. They're talking about right now. They get all the subsidies and the tax breaks. That's socialism. They're talking about doging Elon Musk because he turned against him. Well, why is he getting subsidies? He's the richest man in the world, and he's getting subsidies. Why? So he's a recipient of socialism. The rich have always been recipients of socialism. I've talked about this before. And then they turn around and call us communists for wanting to unionize and have a better wage and better working conditions. It's just absurd. And that's what, going with this argument. This guy, of course, he finishes off his argument with the typical that I want to put. In fact, I'm going to go back there a little later, and I'm gonna put meme definition. Um, Something somebody posts when they just lost an argument. So, and that's the truth. These guys can't argue. But anyway, so let's talk about military spending. Okay, here's the timber stuff right here. Timber production for Forest Service, timber production for the Bureau of Land Management. Um, these are all things that are going to hurt our federal lands. Renewable energy fees on federal lands, renewable energy revenue sharing. I don't know. Um, some of these might be good. I don't know. I haven't read all of them yet. Investing in coastal communities and climate resilience. Recession. funding for facilities of National Oceanic Atmospheric and Administration and marine sanctuaries. So, yeah, anything that has to do with the environment, they're trashing. But we're spending a lot more. We're going to spend a lot more on the military, though. There's a bunch of stuff. Like I said, I'm gonna come back with some more stuff when I after I read through a lot of this, and we'll do another video on it. Um, but there's a lot. I mean, I'm saying it's not all bad. There's some stuff that's actually good in here too. But most of it's uh, uh, repealing stuff that's going to be good for the environment and creating more opportunities for the wealthy to rape our environment, and then more opportunities for the rich to get richer, and it just takes away stuff from the poor, and the poor will pay more money. That's really what this is. Um, Here's stuff on thrift food plan. So they're cutting back on some of this stuff. They might be helping out some of it in some of ways. I don't know. I have to read through this. I read a little bit of it earlier. They change what it is to be an able-bodied adult with so they have regulations on that. Who should work? I'm not necessarily against that. I think people who can work, like my friend that I talked about, ex-friend that I talked about, who has built the system all his life, he could have a job. He shouldn't be getting Medicaid. He's perfectly capable of working. In fact, he runs around saying he's going to kick everybody's ass and thinking he's tougher than everybody, and he's building a go kart and stuff like that. He's got some talent. He could be a mechanic. He's actually a decent mechanic. There's a lot of things that he can do. He's actually not a stupid guy. He's just a lazy piece of shit who's on drugs all the time. So if he just would quit drugs, I mean, I gave him the opportunity. I actually got him into a drug rehab place, and he wouldn't do it. I got him in for free, you know? I gave them my address and said, yes, he's a Sonoma County resident, because technically he was at that time because he was living in my house, and got him a free program to get off drugs, but he wouldn't do it. He just wants to be a bum, and he should be bumped. So I'm not saying this is all bad, but just most of it. But it really is. They have to put things into, um, you know, well, they do have some subsidies for farmers. It looks like in here, they have to do some things in here that are gonna, be somewhat positive. So let's see, what's this thing? Reference price, section whatever of the Agricultural Act is mandated to read as follows. In general, subject to paragraph, blah, 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 blah. You have to go back and look at what these original things were and see what they take out, what they insert. So it's really just reading the bill alone is really only half the battle, because you have to reference all these little things and see what it changes. For a crop year means the following: for wheat, 6.35 per barrel. So you would have to go in and see what this section A, um, let's see, section 11199011, and then see all these little references underneath it. Two I's, three I's, which would be one, two, three. Those are supposed to be Roman numerals. I don't know why they're in lowercase, but I guess that's why they do how they do it here. Um, Effect stuff on effectiveness with crops. Yeah. So to really understand this, and that's what I'm saying. People say, "Oh, I read the bill," and I'm like, "Okay, so what did you have to reference?" And then they don't give me anything. What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about. It's like there's no way you can understand it if you don't go and reference these things. You can get the gist of some of it, but you have to go reference these things. This is something I discovered a long time ago when I started reading these things. And I did. I used to really sit and read these things and cross check them with the existing statutes and things like that, and to really understand what they meant. It's a lot of work. So 16 hours of reading plus, God, probably at least 10 times that just to cross reference everything to really understand it. So you tell me that those idiots in Congress read it? Nope, didn't happen. Not a thing. So it was funny. Marjorie uh, Trailer Park Green was talking one day, and she's like, she found out one of her constituents told her about something that was in the House version of this, and she's like going, yeah, because she was for it. I think it was this bill, and she was saying how she was for the bill, and then she's like, well, a section that I missed, I apparently didn't read it, and it's like a section that you missed. You mean like all of it? It's like you didn't read it. She didn't read it. I don't think she's capable of it. In fact, she doesn't have the time to. I mean, I see what she posts and stuff like that, all her stupid workout videos, and then her other things that she does. It's just she didn't read it. Between all her affairs, there's no way. Sorry, not happening. Let's see. Illusion of all 5 years on average. Okay, this is all still on the farming thing. I'll have to look this up and see what they're doing for farmers. Let's see what else is on there. I mean, this is just enormous. It's just I scrolled and scrolled and scrolled and scrolled down this thing. It's like what the where I started. Let's scroll this whole thing. I say I just went the wrong way. Let's go all the way to the top. All right. Here we go. We're at the top. So let's scroll down. This is the beginning of it. Let's see. What's this? Drug missions. See, border defense stuff. That's all through here. You find them here and there. Stuff on the border, and it adds up to a ton. A lot of stuff for defense and whatnot. And they have some vague stuff in here about the quality of military life and stuff like that. These things are just these are red herrings, just like the whole thing on tax and Social Security. They're probably never going to do it. They're just blowing sunshine up your ass. Let's see. So here we go. We're scrolling, 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 still scrolling, scrolling. Oh no, we're actually into it now, huh? Okay. Yeah, we're into it now. So this is it right here. This is what's below. This is all what's below. It's still a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. And then from there, I mean, watch how this goes here. Look how long it's just taking to go through this. This is on high speed. You tell me Marjorie Taylor Greene read this thing. I don't think so. I don't think she's finished a Dr. Seuss book. You know Trump's not read it because I don't even think he can read, to be honest with you. That's why he doesn't use a teleprompter, because that would require him being able to read. Yeah, so I'm going to go through this and look for key things. I have other people doing it. My son's also reading through and sending me stuff, sections, and then, alerting me to, hey, look at this. And so then I go check it out. And then I'm going to have some other people look at sections. I might ask that we divvy it up into portions and start going through it and then get back to each other. My son and I might do some collaboration on the video channel here. He's been wanting to do a video channel for a long time too, but he's in school and hasn't really had the time. And he's got a kid as well, so it's tough for him to get out there and do it. He's got all the equipment. So I said, well, why don't we just do it? I'll get it all set up and I'll do all the editing and stuff like that. And then you could just come on and we'll chat about it. And then my aunt, who's married to my uncle, my dad's brother, uh, she was talking about wanting to do a podcast or video cast like this too. And she says, I think with my years of experience, I have a lot to say. And she's actually very smart. She's very well read. And we've had lots of discussions over the years. And so I asked her, I said, well, why don't you come on my channel? And I'll volunteer to help her with hers. I will be happy to try to get her up and running and tell her what she needs and what she needs to do. I've already done I've already done all the footwork on that for mine. It was quite a learning curve, by the way. But I'm still new at this. So, but yeah, I'm going to probably have her on. Hopefully, she's going to decide. Hopefully, in the next week or so. I think she'll just get outraged and want to have a say, so she'll probably come on, and then hopefully I can get my son on here too, and then between the three of us and I have a couple of other people, we could maybe um, do some collaboration on looking some of this stuff up and coming up with some key points on it for you folks, so that you don't have to. Yeah, so that's going to be the new commercial for the rich. We're saving money so you don't have to. Anyway, I guess that's it for now. I'm going to have to do some reading and I want to get back to my, you can see my painting in the background here I'm working on. I'm probably going to get back to that today and maybe do some more reading tomorrow morning. I'm usually fresher in the morning. And then I have to spend time with my girlfriend as well. I mean, I promised her I'd only spend so much time on this stuff and away from her. And so I'll start doing that. And we're taking dance classes and things like that. So I have to, I have to be a good boyfriend. And I want to. I mean, of course. Anyway, I guess that's all for now. Peace.